Hello and welcome to Athena Crisis. I'm Stephanie Driscoll.
And I'm Matthew Rory.
And we're from Null Games, and we're going to give you a close look at Athena Crisis, a classic turn-based strategy game with some modern twists.
We're here today to show off the game's intricate strategic and tactical layers, and we're also going to be showing off the game's map and campaign editor. That's right, if you play Athena Crisis, you'll have the ability to use the in-game editor to create new maps and fully narrated single-player campaigns, as well as publish player versus player maps, where you and your friends can go head-to-head in online PvP battles featuring up to 7 players.
Athena Crisis is in early access right now on Steam, or you can head to athenacrisis.com to play a demo of the game right in your browser.
This video is intended to show you how the game is played and will introduce you to a number of different units and situations that you might find yourself in while playing Athena Crisis.
We'll go over how to move units, how to attack units, and how to defeat your opponents via combat or conquest. And after that, we'll be showing off a little bit of the game's powerful map editor, featuring some secret units that you've probably not seen before, even if you've been playing the game already.
Today, we are playing a map called They Are Close to Home, and we're facing off against the Orange Helios team, who've conducted a sneak attack against our pink team. They have an assortment of units, including long-range artillery, as well as some tanks and infantry. We can win by defeating all of their units, while the Orange team can win by either wiping out our units or capturing our HQ. We'll definitely need to protect that building.
The Orange team can create new armored units at their factory or infantry units at their barracks. Note that the barracks is surrounded in the fog of war, so we won't be able to see any units they're producing until they get within range of one of our units.
We can build new units at our HQ or the factory we control, but the enemy team can't prevent that if they park a unit on top of those buildings. So we'll need to take them out if we want to resume production.
In Athena Crisis, it's all about attacks and counterattacks, so learning unit strengths and weaknesses will help determine the best strategy for combat. For example, using long-distance units like artillery will not give the enemy a chance to strike back in the same turn.
Athena Crisis has over 40 units spread across land, sea, and sky. They each have their own movement, specialties, and perks, so you need to be on top of your game to pull off a victory.
Athena Crisis is also a game where the economy matters. You can capture enemy buildings to prevent those buildings from contributing to your enemy's funds. More funds for you and less funds for them will make for an advantage that builds up over time.
It's wise to know when to fight and when to play more defensively. Sometimes even if you have the option to attack, you might want to pause and take a look around, as there might be a building worth capturing or a unit that needs to be restocked. Don't forget, your enemy can't see through the fog of war, so take advantage of moving units behind the scenes.
It's time to start attacking from the south. If a unit you control is strong enough against an enemy unit type, or if the enemy unit is already weakened, you can sometimes attack and know that you will defeat the enemy in one blow.
With that done, we have some tactical choices to make. We can tell that this artillery unit will take more than one tank round to defeat from the combat pop-up. This other tank can sweep in to finish the job, but the enemy's rocket launcher is in the way. What are we going to do? The solution, let's move this Jeep unit one unit out of the way, allowing our flamethrower to move north and take out the rocket launcher. With that done, the tank can swoop in and deliver the final blow. Thinking tactically like this will allow you to deal more damage to your enemies without losing too many units in return. And if you want a second chance, there's always the undo turn button, which will let you try your turn again.
After that last turn, it looks like our HQ is safe from capture. Also note that units in Athena Crisis do use ammo, and if they run low, you'll need to resupply them from support units like Jeeps. This can only be done if the units are right next to each other.
Let's make a couple more units to bolster our forces before passing the turn to our enemy. I think that turn went really well. We did a bunch of damage to the enemy without taking too many losses of our own. But anything can happen when the enemy starts fighting back. With our turn winding down, it's time to see what Orange has in store for us. We'll likely lose some units, but hopefully we'll have enough to return fire. You can see exactly what the enemy is doing on their turn, except for what's going on in the fog of war. They're going to give us our best shot, but will it be enough to turn the tide of battle? It still looks like we're going to have a decided advantage, so let's press forward and go for the win.
Alright, the Orange team made some new units on their turn that are visible to us, and we know that they also have another tank that vanished into the fog of war, which might make planning our next turn difficult, but it appears that we have overall more units than they do, so let's start mopping them up.
Artillery units need to unfold to attack, so we're not in any danger from this guy this turn. Let's start wiping out the other weakened enemy units that pose more of an immediate threat to us. And again, keep an eye on your units to see which of them are running low on ammo. If a unit runs out of ammo, it won't be able to attack at all.
It's always important to think about the long game in your strategy planning, and continuing to capture buildings will give you more funds each turn, with the bonus of also removing those funds from your enemy's economy. Let's also fold up this artillery unit and move it our next turn.
Now, let's try and park our own unit on top of the enemy factory. Whoops, I guess we found that enemy tank. If you try to cross an enemy unit in the fog of war, your own unit will stop immediately and lose the rest of its turn. Here's hoping this tank lives long enough to fight back, but we'll move some of our other units close by to support it.
All right, now that we know where the enemy is, we can start maneuvering our forces around to weaken them up and hopefully start moving north towards their barracks. Keep in mind that as units take damage, they also deal less damage themselves. Some units can heal other units though, which will restore their battle efficiency. After this round of combat, we should be in a pretty good position to go for the win next turn.
Jeeps and other transport units can bring infantry on board to move them more quickly around the battlefield, as you see here. We can get almost all the way to the enemy barracks after we load our infantry into the Jeep and send it north. So let's go ahead and do that now.
It looks like all I have up there is a single Pioneer unit. Pioneers have no combat abilities and are only good for resupplying ammo or capturing buildings, so this unit will be easily taken care of our next turn. Speaking of ammo, let's resupply our infantry with the Jeep and pass the turn on to Orange.
The Orange team does look like they're out of funds. They've created no new units despite having the ability to do so. They're down to the Pioneer and their 2 armored units. Let's wipe them out and finish off the map. Again, winning an Athena Crisis requires you to play both tactically and strategically. Knowing how and where to move your units for the maximum combat efficiency is key, and keeping an eye on your economy will also benefit you in the long run. There are plenty more aspects of Athena Crisis that we didn't have time to cover here today, including battles featuring naval, air, and special hidden units, so please give Athena Crisis a whirl in early access to check out those features. In addition to a lengthy single-player campaign, Athena Crisis also features a full map and campaign editor, where you can quickly build maps and publish them online to fight against your friends in PvP battles featuring up to 7 players.
The editor makes it super easy to place units, create terrain, and set all the conditions you need for an epic battle. If you're a budding game designer, use the campaign and dialogue editor to string together a series of maps with a full story.
Again, Athena Crisis is in early access right now, so check it out on Steam and join the official Discord to give your feedback. We'll see you there.